I know that you are having a hard time right now. That everything seems to crumble around you. I know that you feel all alone in this world, but you have to put your trust into us, and we will help you through, 'cause we only want what's best for you. I know that you are having trouble believing right now that everything is gonna be alright. For you, what is best for you.
Happy peoples, hope you guys are doing fantastic. I just dropped the kiddos off at piano. Well, the girls. I still got Buddy. We're gonna run into North Pole. Maybe we'll get some breakfast.
Let's go get breakfast.
You wanna go get some breakfast with your mom? So my kiddos have actually been off of piano for a while because holidays, then they were sick, then it was very, very cold. It was all kind of bad juju, but they're back. Very excited. I've been very pleased with their piano progress. Beautiful day. It is only 9 below this morning, which is fantastic. Sun is shining. It's glorious. All right, let's head on into North Pole. Something that we thought would be really cool to talk to you guys about today, and we get actually quite a few questions about it, is jobs here in Alaska. How can you get a job? How can you find a job? How can you find what is available here for work? Things like that. So we thought we'd talk to you about places that we have worked in the past, because I've been here since I was 9 years old. So a few years. My husband's been born and raised. So a lot of times in the community, what you will find is you will find that when you live in a small community, you actually have a lot of connections because everybody knows everybody. A lot of times that is what it looks like here, is that, oh, you know them, oh, you know them, oh yeah, I know them. That type of thing, right? Jobs that we acquired when we were young and getting out of high school, or I worked when I was in high school. Jobs that people knew us and was like, hey, do you want to come work here? Or hey, there's an opening here, things like that. But nonetheless, we wanted to share with you a little bit, show where we have worked in the past. I've had 4 other jobs before I was stay-at-home mom, homeschool teacher, whatever else I am. Bert will share with you where he has worked in the past. So that's what we're gonna do. I think I'm actually gonna go take you to some of the places where I have worked. If I can, if I have enough time to do that today. But one of them is right down the street, so let me go show you that real quick. So my first ever job that besides babysitting, so my first actual like payroll, go to clock in job was this place, Subway. Eat Fresh. I was a sandwich artist. I believe I was 16 when I started working there. Good time. A friend of mine from church, she actually worked there and was like, hey, do you want to come work at Subway? I was like, Yeah, I do. That would be awesome. Actually, a lot of fun. It taught me a lot. I'll never forget, probably the most traumatizing thing that ever happened was I cut my finger on the line and there was a lot of blood, and it was during rush hour and I had to run to the bathroom. It was not a good time. It was rough. My poor friend who had to take over the line without me and all the things. So my first, I believe I got paid just over $7 an hour to work there. I think I was technically a part-time worker because I was still in school. As I was homeschooled, it was very, like I could be very flexible with my hours, which actually worked out really great. So let me know in the comments, any of my fellow Subway workers, let me know if you worked there. I actually really liked it. It was a lot of fun. Continue on with the day. Let's actually check in on Bert and seeing how he's doing. In the office, we are crazy busy. He's got a lot going on. So let's go check in on him.
Happy peoples, hope your day is going awesome. Today here in the good old AK, it is warmer, what, 10 below or something like that. Wife's in town. She mentioned that she wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about jobs, because we've gotten a lot of comments from a lot of you guys asking about jobs, and I think it stemmed from like a lot of our shopping videos we've done. We're like, wow, you guys must make a lot of money there. You know, how much do people make? And what's it like to get a job there? You can share like what we've done for jobs. So I have worked as an electrician. I always have. 17 years old is my first job as an electrician. I just got my dad's friend said, hey, I need someone to help me as an apprentice wiring houses. And the next day I was an electrician. Control contractors for the longest amount of time. And they're where I learned more of the controls, which I ended up starting my own company based off of a lot of the stuff I learned there. And they were a great company. They changed hands twice, so I ended up leaving and starting my own company. The beauty, too, I feel about Alaska, I think Alaska really is the land of opportunity. And let us know down below, leave me a comment if you're interested in learning about maybe more the business side, because we've started businesses. We've started construction companies, property management company, with our rentals. If you want us to expound on that, let us know down below what that's like here. Just generally speaking, there tends to be less regulation, a lot more freedom, and a lot more opportunity here. To be honest, the economy is actually not super great here compared to the lower 48. It tends to, I feel it lags about 5 years. So in the lower 48, it's doing really well. Alaska will lag about 5 years. And then vice versa. Once things turn bad to the lower 48, Alaska tends to be good for about another 5 years, just generally speaking, my past experience. But there's a lot of positions here that people need to fill, especially in the healthcare industry. Eielson Air Force Base is ramping up. They need lots of people. Anyway, I don't know how far down the rabbit hole of jobs go, but I feel there's a lot of opportunity in Alaska for jobs. You definitely want to have something before you're here, because it's going to be a big expense to get here and to move here. If you're really good at something, it's pretty easy to advance. It really is, because it's a small town. It's a small, you can get a bad reputation, though, really easy, but you can get a good reputation pretty easy, too, because there's not a lot of competition. You'd have to actually look on exact numbers on things and how much people make, but people make more money here than in most places, but it's a higher cost of living. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work here. My wife's gonna be coming home soon. She's worked at a lot of different places, and then maybe we can talk a little bit when she gets back. But I hope you guys are doing awesome. I hope your day is going great, and we just want to let you know we appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, back to work.
Okay, so the next job, now these are not necessarily in order, but I'm in North Pole, and I've worked 2 places in North Pole. This is the second one, which is a dental office. I actually was a dental assistant. I worked for about 6 years in the dental industry, and I started off as a dental assistant, and then I worked my way up to purchasing agent, so I was an assistant and I did all the ordering, and then I eventually became the office manager. During that time, though, I was married. I didn't have Audrey yet, but during that time I got pregnant, got really sick, had to take some time off, but they still hired me back or let me come back after I had her, and was able to bring her to work with me while I was doing the office manager stuff, which was awesome. I set up a little playpen in the office
Really?
Yeah.
You took me to work with you?
Yeah, I took you to work with me. Able to just sit. She was able to come with me, and I was able to get a lot of the book work done and all the things. But then shortly thereafter, I think I got pregnant again with Evelyn. Right? And then I pretty much quit because I was like, can't take care of a kid and be sick and pull the job. So this was my other job, and I loved it. I absolutely loved being a dental assistant. It's very fast paced. It was like you had to be super organized, and I don't know, I like always pushed myself to do a little bit better every time I did a procedure. I don't know, I absolutely loved it. So let me know if any of you guys were dental assistants. This job I started off, I think it was like $9 an hour is what I started off at, and then eventually rose from there. But I wanted to tell you too, minimum wage for Alaska right now is $10.19 is minimum wage here. Now, that's the minimum you can pay. If you notice, you know, places like Barrow, a lot of you guys have asked, what do people get paid there? You could put a job out and say, hey, we're gonna pay you minimum wage, but then down the street, somebody's gonna be doing the exact same job for like $20, $25 an hour. Why would no one would do it? So it kind of depends on where you live, and kind of the general consensus kind of controls that, but that is the minimum. That has progressively gone up. We had a big change in 2008 and then another in 2015 where they've just been gradually increasing it. So just to let you know, that is the minimum wage where we live. All right, let's head on into Fairbanks, and I'm gonna show you a couple other locations, maybe just one other location, because I think the other location either is out of business now or doesn't exist. Like, I don't know where they exist anymore, but I'll try to figure it out. So I'm gonna take you into town. Here we go.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.
So we made it to the next location. Probably one of the jobs that I enjoyed the most was Alaska Digital Printing. I learned so much from this particular business that I worked in. My computer skills, a lot of learning like to print and design, things like that, I learned from this location. So super grateful. Stephanie Clymer, she's the one that owns it, still owns it to this day, I'm pretty sure. She was a great boss. It was a lot of fun. I actually worked with my sister-in-law here, Jessica. Like, the same thing that kind of transpired with my other job is I knew somebody. She actually went to my church and she's like, hey, this place, and the actual manager at the time also went to my church, was like, hey, do you want to come work here? And I was like, sure, I think that'd be a great skill to learn. It was fun. I actually started off as just a regular worker. So I worked myself to floor manager. So I was in charge of all of the floor managery duties. And then I actually worked to general manager. And when I left, I was general manager, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I started off, I think, like $9.50 maybe? $9.50 an hour when I worked here. Something like that, and then worked my way up from there when I went all the way up to general manager. So yeah, super fun. It's like going down memory lane. Fun fact, I've shared this in another video. I met Bert when I worked here, and he actually worked like a hop, skip, and a jump that way, because this is like the industrial side, so he worked at a control company that way. And every day he would come to my work and put a rose and a card on my car. Every day he would come and do that for me. It was so cute. It's so precious. I love you, babe. Okay, so we made it to the next location. Here is actually right next to Good News Bible and Bookstore. There used to be a floral and wedding shop that sat right next door. I absolutely loved the wedding industry. I thought it was so much fun. I loved being able to help brides. I loved being able to, I don't know, like organize and plan like their day, and it was so much fun. So I got to do a little bit of everything. So I got to help with floral arrangements. I got to help with like picking out dresses. I got to help fitting for suits. And then I actually got to go on locations and actually like help do like organization for their day. So like coordinating the event. So I actually learned a lot, and I use this after I stopped working here. I actually use it in my life, like helping people get married, or I'm doing floral arrangements, things like that. So it's been a good time. Now a barber shop. There they are. So it used to be right over on this side, and Good News Bible and Bookstores on this side. That's where I used to work.
Kids are in bed, wife's laying on the couch. I'm just gonna touch base on just a few of them here real quick. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave some links in this video down below, maybe some Alaskan job links, state of Alaska, some information for some of you folks that might be interested in working here in Alaska. Mine too, there's a lot of seasonal jobs here too. People will come from different countries, especially like Denali National Park. You'll see people from all over the world that'll just work the summer there. But as far as just like regular jobs, I went and got some dollar numbers. I know a lot of you guys asking dollar numbers. So Alaska State Trooper is gonna start somewhere around $35 an hour, ballpark, and can make upwards to around $65 an hour after, I think it's 20 years, something like that. Troopers can actually make a decent amount of money, and especially if they're like in a remote village, they can do pretty well. Rental assistants, in our experience here in our area, are making anywhere between maybe $13 an hour to start, knowing nothing, up to around $25 an hour, somewhere in that range. If you have a CDL and you're like a local truck driver, you're gonna probably make, in my experiences, I'd talked to 2 local truck drivers, and one of them was making around $20 an hour. One was pushing closer to like the $26 an hour. So around $20 to $30 an hour for like a local truck driver. In our McDonald's in North Pole, I think they start you at $12 an hour to work at McDonald's here. Because you gotta remember, just because you have a minimum wage does not mean that people are making minimum wage. That's just the lowest you're allowed to pay them. We're in a bit of a fight for good employees, which means you're gonna keep, for example, in Barrow, leave the store workers there make about $18 an hour. And that's way above minimum wage, but considered way low for Barrow. But I can say as an electrician, you start out as an electrician somewhere around $22 an hour approximately, knowing nothing as an apprentice, and you're gonna journeyman out after 5 years, and you're gonna make $40 an hour. Now add about $27 an hour in Davis-Bacon wages, so there you go. So that's going to push you right around $48 an hour to like $68 an hour as an electrician. I know this firsthand because I have to pay my people this. So Davis-Bacon, you can make quite a bit of money, but keep in mind when you're working construction and you're working these Davis-Bacon type jobs, you really don't work in the wintertime. Unless you're a really, really good hand, you're pretty much only going to work in the summer. You take the half the year off. So even though you're making a whole lot extra money, tuck some away for the wintertime. The admin jobs that I've seen are gonna run somewhere around $15 to $30 an hour for like office work, depending on the experience, of course, and like what you're running, and it can go up from there, having QuickBooks experience, working for construction companies. That's pretty standard, there's a lot, guys, there's a lot of people that make so much money here. It just doesn't go as far. Like if you want to be a truck driver, I know a lot of truck drivers that drive from Fairbanks all the way to Prudhoe Bay up north, and they'll make more than $100,000 a year depending on how many trips they make a week. But it's a pretty dangerous, hard work job. But I know I have lots of friends that do it. Also mines, working at gold mines. There's quite a few gold mines here. And I have a lot of friends that make more than $100,000 a year doing that. Anyone that works up in the oil fields, most of the people that work in the oil fields are making more than at least $100,000 a year plus, unless it's a really low-end job. But even the low-end jobs are really high paying. But most people that work up north on the oil fields, I can tell you, they make more than $100,000 or more. I hope this answers some questions. It's really hard because it's kind of all over the map, but I think just generally on average, Alaskan people can make a lot more money with our jobs just because things cost more, cost of living, and it's a supply and demand, right? We don't have as much supply. And what I can tell you is if you really give your all to your job and you strive to be the very best at whatever job you have, my wife and I have always been that way. Whatever job we had, we wanted to be the best at it. We wanted to be the greatest resource for the company that we worked for. You will be employed and people will be fighting to try to keep you or to try to hire you, and they'll be trying to poach you from other companies. So this is our experience. Be the best at whatever you do, whatever you want to do. Let me share one quick story here before wrapping up, guys. I don't want to keep you forever. My grandfather, he really wanted to work at Goodyear Aerospace. Now, granted, this is shortly after World War II, so this is a different time frame. I get it, I understand, but it's the mentality. He wanted to work at Goodyear. That was what he wanted. And guess what? They weren't hiring. So he showed up every day and made coffee and swept the floors. And they're like, why are you here? We're not hiring. He says, that's okay. I want to be around for when you are hiring. And guess what? After a few months of doing that, they eventually were hiring and they said, hey, where's Somers at? Bring him in here. We got a job for him. And he worked at Goodyear Aerospace for 39 years. I mean, he was an executive when he retired. I mean, company airplane all the way through. So be the best at what he did. So no matter what, if you have that kind of mentality, ready to work and give it your all, I think Alaska is the land of opportunity for this. At least it has for me and my family. Definitely check some resources. I mean, don't just move to Alaska and then try to find a job. Try to do some research, try to be hired first, and go that route. And so again, we'll leave some resources in this video. And if you guys have any tips, I would love to hear it. I would love to have a conversation because the purpose of a video like this is try to help people. If you're trying to move to Alaska and you want to upgrade your job, if you guys have any tips or ideas on getting work here in Alaska, please leave it down below in the comments. So this is kind of a different video today, guys, but you know, that's just how our channel is. You just never know what you're gonna get. We appreciate each and every one of you. I think the kids did a closeout right before they went to bed, so I will send you to them, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for